all over the country. Those who marched yesterday for the expansion of democratic right must accept that expansion of democratic right is an everyday experience with the right to peaceful protest as the guardian angel. Our national constitution jealously guides those rights. For Nigerian workers, it has been a catalogue of workplace and trade union violations. First, the criminal refusal by some state governors to pay the national minimum wage and consequential adjustment in salaries. Those governors are violating workers' right to decent wages and sane living. Nothing can be mannered. We have already directed all our states, as I said, to declare industrial action if any governor remain adamant about paying the national minimum wage. Some employers of labor still deny workers the fundamental right of freedom of association and collective bargaining. Some state governors still impose trade union or trade union leaders on workers. Some employers even punish and sack workers for belonging to trade unions. This certainly will be resisted as we have done in the past. In some cases, governors procure strange powers to prescribe trade unions, forgetting that labor laws are domiciled in the exclusive list of the Constitution of Nigeria as prescribed by many conventions of the ILO. Of concern to us is also poor working environment and poor occupational safety and health practices in our workplace. In the light of the COVID-19 pandemic, we'll call for a new policy on occupational health and safety standards in the workplace to protect workers from falling into those avoidable occupational health and health hazards. The mass lack of workers and casualization of workers in Kaduna. We consider the recent sack of workers and casualization of more than 60% of the workforce in Kaduna State as the most brutal attack on workers and trade union rights in our nation's history. Comrades, you will recall that between 2016 and this year, the Kaduna State Governor, Mr. Nasiru El-Rufai, sacked 21,770 primary school teachers under the pretext of competency tests. 7,310 local government employees and 3,000 personnel in the state service and 1,240 workers at the Kaduna State Primary Care Board. Mr. El-Rufai sacked workers with one hand. He increased school fees in Kaduna State University by almost 500%. This clearly shows a well-planned agenda to make the children of the working class destitute. Is this how El-Rufai understands development? The serial pattern of anti-workers and trade union war of attrition by Nasiru El-Rufai is not lost on the Nigerian Republic. This is indeed the industrial sadism of Mr. El-Rufai has become legendary. It is even worse now. The current anti-workers disposition of Kaduna State Governor is at the instance of the Bretton Woods institution as part of the conditionalities we are told for assessing loan for neoliberal agencies. The action of...
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the president of the NLC giving us his address. And here we are actually ensuring that we cover the entire process so that even those of you at home will enjoy everything. Thank you very much.
Employment contract of the disengaged workers, which provided that a worker should work for 60 years or 35 years, whichever one conflicts before he is retired. We consider the promise, the redundancy letter issued by the governor to say that their benefit will be paid in this course as mockery of the entire law that all of us have sworn, especially political office holders, to respect. Mr. El-Rufai has refused to pay workers that earlier sacked through this same process. And therefore, I think Nigerian workers using this May Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the live transmission of the 2021 May Day celebration. Welcome again to the live transmission of the 2021 May Day celebration here in Abuja, the nation's capital city, on the network service of Africa's largest. May Day celebration is a day to celebrate workers of Nigeria and the workers of the globe generally. And I want to assure you that it is about the welfare of workers. So we are here to celebrate the Nigerian workers. And the Nigerian workers so far have done well, and they need to be celebrated. Therefore, already representative of different workers' union that make up the Nigerian Labour Congress are dressed in different attires and colors, depicting their unions and associations. And we are ready for the annual ritual this year. It promises to be very colorful. It's going to be a very colorful parade, as I can see from the rehearsal. I am Thomas Ubetere once again. On behalf of the NTA, welcome you to the live transmission. Thank you very much.
High of 33.3% in the last quarter of 2020, from 27.1 in the second quarter of 2020. Part of the challenge of unemployment and insecurity is the crisis of poor governance. Weak budgets that lead to poor appropriation and poorer budgetary oversight is the bane of our development. It is unfortunate and a terrible injustice to the memory of Nigerian founding fathers that virtually every part of Nigeria have been engulfed by one form of security challenge or the other. In the north, we are aware the issue of Boko Haram in the northeast is still very prevalent. In the northwest, there is the challenge of rural banditry and kidnapping for ransom. In the north central, there is the challenge of farmer and pastoralist clashes. In the south-south, armed militia still operate in the mangroves, engage in all manner of economic sabotage. In the southwest and southeast, local militia are filling the vacuum created by the absence of state and are heating up the polity with ethno-religious rhetorics. In the midst of this confusion, Nigerians are asking, where is the state? Many Nigerians understand the grave danger of surrendering our sovereignty to a mob of violence and nondescript non-state actors. Already, the numbers are piling up as humanitarian carnage left in the wakes of medium to high intensive conflict continues to rise. Workers are a major target. So many teachers, health workers, agri and food chain workers have either been kidnapped or killed. So many working families have had their lives of their breadwinners brutally cut off, leaving behind open wounds that could be the source for another cycle of counter-violence. Just as we did at the Peace Summit, we asked Nigerian security apparatus to continue to do more. Yes, we recognize the sacrifice and commitment of our armed forces in the multifaceted fight against insecurity in Nigeria. But the job of our security operatives is not yet done until we reclaim a country where people can travel from Zamfara to Katsina without looking over their shoulders for fear of kidnappers. A country where Nigerians travel by train from Abuja to Kaduna as a matter of choice, not as a matter of consequence of the imposition of the will of the kidnappers. We must reclaim a country where pastoralists and farmers live in peace with one another under the umbrella of justice. We must reclaim a Nigeria where militancy in the southern Nigeria becomes history as a result of overflow of the tributaries of socio-economic justice. To reclaim our country, we must be serious with security votes. Security votes should be rooted through the normal budgetary process for a proper oversight, accountability. The usual refrain that security is secret business is actually a worn-out argument. Security is a collective task. We reiterate our call for improved social protection and investment in social services to deal with human insecurity, which is the bane of physical insecurity in Nigeria. Let me therefore call on my colleague, the president of TUC, to continue.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, what is the way forward to all these problems? We need an alternative policy option. In light of COVID-19 pandemic, we have suggested several alternative economic policies to concretely grow the economy, retain existing jobs, and create demand for fresh employment. These embrace the need for expansionist policies to restore the essential role of state in protection of essential public goods, notably health, education, and job, and sound management of petroleum and power sector, management of petroleum sector and electricity tariff. The petroleum downstream sector has continued to feature in our policies of market reforms. The federal government has not ceased to accede to IMF prescription of the total withdrawal of subsidy on petroleum products. However, this IMF-inspired policy has been cloaked in the understanding of the regulation and under recovery of costs expended in the importation of refined petroleum products. In a commission research on petroleum pricing, it was revealed that the IMF economic policy preference for the import parity pricing model against the production cost pricing model is fundamentally flawed. This is because the import parity pricing model discourages self-sufficient in refining petroleum product supply to meet domestic demand. The import parity model has bled Nigeria of humongous forex and is a major singular source of Nigeria economic hemorrhage and instability. The agenda of import parity pricing model is to service the neoliberal and neocolonial wishes of those who want to keep Nigeria economic subservient. It is truly funny that if we are having this conversation of importing refined products simply because we cannot manage our national refineries. It does not just make sense that we cannot manage our refineries, that we are the only OPEC country that cannot refine our crude oil. Talking about the fear of subsidy burden, the production cost pricing model, assuming our refineries are working, it is crucial to point out that 159 nations are subsidizing energy because of the security implication. In absolute terms, the top 3 subsidizers of petroleum pricing across the world are United States, spending about $502 billion US, China spending about $279 billion, and Russia spending about $116 billion. Each country chooses the model that sync with their developmental level, unique resources, developmental strategies, and the nature of domestic energy market. Nigeria should moderate the production cost pricing model to fit into our developmental and market agglomerate goals. Nigeria has a captive market for refined petroleum products, as any serious refiner has no reason to worry about the market for the realization of the product. What is more, the supply chain could be extended to neighboring countries, which is currently served as illicit destination, smugglers, of even the imported products. Nigerian workers call on government, in line with the agreement reached with Labour on the 28th of September 2020, to take very reasonable measures to ensure that all public refineries are rehabilitated and brought back fully on stream in good terms. We demand that such efforts should be on the basis of value for money. Another problem is the electricity sector crisis. We have engaged government on the arbitrary electricity tariff charge to consumers. Our representatives in the Electricity Tariff Committee found that multi-year tariff order was based on some strange assumptions. These are the Nigerian inflation rate. Exchange rate of Naira to United States dollar standing at 383.8. Inflation rate in the United States of America of 1.5%. Price of gas for generation at 2 Naira 50 kobo US dollar. Other items in the MYTO include generation cost of 4 Naira 64 kobo per megawatt. Average generation price between hydro and thermal station put at 25 naira 6 kobo, payment to transmission company of Nigeria, and sundry administrative charges of 7 naira 80 kobo per kilowatt. There are the costs associated with megawatt of electricity delivered to discos and the aggregate technical, commercial, and collection losses. The organized labor cannot accept this strange and fluid critical in the electricity tariff regime. Organized labor in Nigeria called for adjustments to the gas price for the power sector, and the gas price increase should be suspended for the next 3 years to support electricity stability. Accordingly, since gas supply for electricity generation accounts for 70% of local gas consumption, there has to be security of supply. We support consumption. Government have to improve payment discipline, ensuring that gas supply companies are paid on first line charge from the revenue accruing from electricity paid in that sector and in a timely manner. With the savings, the cost of electricity tariff could be reduced by 10 naira 50 kobo across the high price band. Comrades and fellow Nigerians, it is clear that the factor fueling incessant hike in electricity tariff, such as the dollarization of gas used by Gencos to run our power station, are issues that government can control. Price by government to force discos to mass deployment of meters has been poorly pursued, and prepaid meters are still ordered by discos and sold at a very high price to frustrated consumers. It is on this premise that we say total no to further increase in electricity. Industrialization, small-scale businesses. The collapse of industry sector is the reason for the plague of mass unemployment, poverty, and insecurity in Nigeria. Industrialization is the key to overall growth of national economy. Many companies have closed down in Nigeria between 2009 and 2001 due to harsh operation environment. The surviving ones are described as ailing. There are over 10 textile mills between Oshodi and Apapa. We used to have Dunlop and Michelin. Where are these companies today? In Nigeria, business are killed at infancy. Why government make so much noise about job creation, but turn around to stifle the SMEs through multiple taxation? This narrative must change now, as government must, as a matter of urgency, relax its grips on businesses. In the construction sector, we wish to draw the attention of government to the mounting debt owed contractors. We urge government to settle this debt in order to recover and preserve millions of jobs in that sector and save sector for complete collapse. We also call for diligent oversight and implementation of our law on local content, expatriate quota, especially in the light of Executive Order 5, which aim at improving local content in the public procurement. In the midst of ravaging unemployment in Nigeria, we cannot afford to give away jobs that Nigerians can do to less qualified foreigners. We also call on government to give priority to ensuring availability of raw materials, supply of foreign exchange at official rates to manufacturing concerns, and reduction of multiple and high taxations on industry, especially companies that produce non-alcohol beverages, which contribute about 4% to our national GDP. To cushion the effect of ban and restriction to access of many raw materials, government should strengthen backward integration and value adding in agri and raw materials development. Financial sector and services sector. Your Excellencies and comrades, the financial sector in every developing society drive the economy. Nigeria is no exception. Sadly, policies such as casualization of labor, setting of impossible targets for workers in the sector, and the arbitrary sack of workers in the financial and services sectors has hampered inclusion and sustained growth in the sector. We must remove the pressure in the financial sector that exposes most of our females and even maize into unethical behaviors. We also call on government to improve the conditions necessary for the improvement and expansion of services sector, including the hospitality industry, which took a huge hit from the COVID-19 crisis. The maritime sector is one sector with huge potential for job creation and inclusive economic growth. In addition to our earlier call for the upgrading of maritime infrastructure, especially access road to our port, we call on government to take steps towards resurrecting the national shipping line, as it will help to reduce capital flight and enhance training of our Nigerian cadets. We also call for upgrading of our maritime schools and improve our bilateral and multilateral agreement so that the certificate of competence, COC, given by our maritime institution are recognized all over the world. Finally, on this call, we urge government to address incessant piracy, attack on our territorial water, as this trend spells doom for maritime businesses in Nigeria and safety of our seafaring workers. The debt burden. Nigeria is saddled with a huge debt stock. Close to 80% of our revenue from Federation account goes to the servicing of debt accumulated by federal government alone. So this story is the same in many states like Abuja with very huge debt. Currently, the Central Bank of Nigeria has granted over 10 trillion ways and means advance to the federal government. The loan portfolio far exceeds what the status of CBN allows her to do. We understand that in this context, the Debt Management Office want to propose easing of security to cover local debt. This measure will only enable the government to borrow more money. Like all external funding, Nigeria's unhandy borrowing comes with stiff conditionalities. Our country has increasingly become a high-risk borrower. One conditionality is the further devaluation of national currency. A definite implication of the borrowing policy has been inflation pressure on the economy, as every significant rise in domestic debt has led to pressure on the local currency. Transaction costs of doing business and gains of the minimum wage with increase in cost of living. All this hurts most Nigeria, especially workers, as well as our productive private sector. We demand for an upward review of salary of core civil servants to narrow the gap between emoluments and those of employees in other sectors of the public sector. We also call for an upward review of retirement age and years of service in the entire public service. Certainly, what is good for the goose is good for the gender. Although the 2004 Pension Reform Act highlights on the payment of gratuity to workers, the federal and some state governments are still paying gratuity to public service employees. Yet, it is gratifying that the private sector employers and many governments have continued to pay gratuity to their employees. We demand that payment of gratuity to retiring officers should be restored in the public service to compensate for the years of service by workers. Autonomy of the judiciary, state house of assembly, and local government. We call for the full autonomy of judiciary and legislative arm of government, especially at state. We also call for us in move to scrap local governments in Nigeria. Nigerian workers will resist any attempt to derail developmental at the grassroots level. COVID-19 vaccination. We use this opportunity to call on Nigerian workers to avail themselves of availability of COVID-19 vaccines and take the jab. Workers should go get the vaccination and continue to keep safe. We also join other progressive forces to call for vaccine justice, especially for different countries of Global South, where the trap of poverty means many of the countries will not be able to purchase enough vaccination for their population to achieve the so-called herd immunity. Labour Party, the continued hijack and impersonation of the leadership structure of the Labour Party by strange elements is of great concern to Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, which are founders of the party. Our take in the Labour Party is validated by our statutory membership of the National Executive Council of Labour Party, and the fact that certificate of registration of the Labour Party is still with the NLC. We are also empowered by the consent judgment delivered by Honorable Justice G.O. Kolawole, now JCA, on March 20, 2018, where he stated that the Labour Party, though not a trade union, is an institutional political party of the Nigerian workers, founded and funded and promoted by Nigerian workers through their national centers. There is also a pronouncement of the Supreme Court in INEC versus Musa, in which the apex court held that trade union can form or belong to political party in furtherance of their interest. We will not allow travesty of daylight robbery of our Labour Party to continue to stand. We will recover the Labour Party and take over offices currently being occupied by political contractors. International solidarity. Cuba, organized labor in Nigeria, join millions of workers and progressive all over the world to celebrate the Cuban Workers' Federation and its trade union branches on the 82nd anniversary of CTZ. We call on the countries of the world to prevail on government of the United States of America to remove all economic, commercial, financial embargoes placed on Cuba, including over 24 unilateral coercive measures imposed in the dying days of Mr. Donald Trump's presidency. These sanctions have greatly undermined the fullest potential of working people of Cuba and their families. Enough is enough. Let us make 2021 the year of ending the witch hunt against the good people and the government of Cuba and countries which are being persecuted because of choice of their political system. Western Sahara. It is saddening that 29 years since the world resolved through a UN resolution to commence the process for the independence of the Sahrawi people from the colonization of Kingdom of Morocco. The fate of Western Sahara, also known as Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, which is the last colony in Africa, is still a mirage. We use this occasion of May Day to call on the African and the world government to keep up the pressure on Morocco and France until the people of Sahara will get their full political independence. Myanmar. On February 1st, 2021, the democratic government of Myanmar was overthrown in a coup. The junta has resorted to brutal repression of the civil space, beating, arresting, and killing peace protesters in line with our earlier press release in solidarity with global working class movement. We call for the restoration of democratic governance in Myanmar, the prosecution of those found to have invested in brutalization of the citizen and the violation of workers' rights. Celebrating President Luis Inacio Lula da Silva, we celebrate the recent acquittal of President Luis Inacio Lula da Silva. This vindication affirms our earlier stance on Lula's innocence, his unjust subjection to organized political vendetta. We wish him well in his renewed campaign to take Labour Party back to power. On Venezuela, as we demanded for Cuba, we called for the removal of economic and financial sanctions against the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, which has endured Western-inspired embargoes and suffering for so long. In conclusion, this address cannot complete without once again salute the courage, resilience, and patriotism of Nigerian workers, pensioners, and their families who have continued to soldier on despite the impact of COVID-19. We will continue to make the most of every opportunity to ensure that the welfare and interests of Nigerian workers are not subsumed and completely eroded in this pandemic. We especially dedicated this May Day to Nigerian workers who have lost their life, a limb, or their means of livelihood in the past 1 year. I dedicate this day to our senior citizens who, despite humiliation by the country they serve faithfully, still believe in the dream of our great country. We also appreciate the steadfast solidarity and partnership of our allies in the civil society and the international trade union movement. We look forward to strengthening their partnership in the years to come. We commend the unity of trade union movement. This year, we are celebrating this year with our colleagues in the former ULC. The joint celebration of this day by the leadership of NLC and TC makes the point very clear that the bond that joins us can never be broken. Yes, sir. Finally, we pay tribute to the memory of our past leaders and veterans of our struggle, organizers, and shop floor members of working class family who have lived their life serving the labor movement, and some even paid the supreme price in the struggle. We assure you that by God's grace, your struggle shall never be in vain. Yeah. Long live Nigerian Labour Congress. Long live. Long live Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. Long live. Long live Working Class Solidarity. Long live. Long live International Solidarity. Long live. Long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Long live. Solidarity. Forever. Nigeria. Asata. Thank you all. Inspiration.
We are the sun, yet the word force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one, for the union is solidarity. Solidarity, there is victory for all. There is victory for us in the struggle for our members. There is victory for us. Whatever backward never in the struggle for our members. There is give our leaders a round of applause. Great Nigerian workers. Great Nigerian workers. Comrade and friends, we've had enough from the fountain knowledge for our great defenders of truth and justice.
Distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the 2021 edition of May Day has the privilege of the Ambassador of Sahrawi Arab Republic, His Excellency Fadli Mari. Your Excellency, you are welcome to 2021 May Day celebration. In the same vein, the Ambassador to Venezuela, His Excellency David Velasquez, pardon my pronunciation. Your Excellency, you are welcome to the 2021 edition of May Day. Of course, Clara Pulido in the Embassy of Venezuela. Comrade Clara, you are also welcome. I have the honor and privilege to introduce to you His Excellency Humphrey Gaiseb. He is the High Commissioner of Namibia. He has joined Nigerian workers to celebrate 2021 edition of May Day. Your Excellency, You are welcome to 2021 edition of May Day in Abuja, the capital city of Nigeria. You can see from the antecedents of Nigerian workers, we are homely, friendly, and we are good to go. We also have in our midst the acting president of Association of Senior Civil Servants, Comrade Tommy Etim Okon. Comrade Tommy, you are welcome to 2021 edition of May Day. Comrade.
Thank you very much, Comrade Nuhu. Once again, if you are just joining us, this is coming to you live from the studios of NLC and TUC, taking place here in the Eagle Square of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Indeed, industrial relations is designed to bring together workers and their employers in order to harmonize and streamline issues of common interest that is capable of being objective to the growth of the nation. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we are very, very glad that we are celebrating the strength of our dignity in labor today. Indeed, we are very, very proud. Comrade Nuhu, are we not proud of being workers?
Of course, we are proud to announce that we create the wealth.
Exactly. Once again, my name is Comrade Paul Simon. We are here together at this very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellencies, comrade and friends, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I have the very, very privilege and honor, with all zest and dexterity, to invite the chief guest of honor, His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, and who is ably represented by His Excellency, Senator Chris Ngige, the Honorable Minister of Labor and Employment of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for his remarks.
Distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to the Honorable Minister of Labor representing the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And quickly before he arrived, I have the honor of introducing the President of Construction Workers Union of Nigeria, Comrade Asuguni, is also here with us. Comrade Asuguni, you are welcome to 2021 edition of May Day. Comrades, shall we all rise to welcome the representative of the President? Shall we rise, comrades? Thank you very much.
President Muhammadu Buhari, President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, here on this occasion, represented by the Minister of Labor and Employment, that's my small self, the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, our landlord, the representative of the Senate President, distinguished Senator Godiya Akwashiki, who is also Chairman, Senate Committee on Labor, Employment, and Productivity, the Honorable Minister of State for Labor and Employment, representative of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, representative of the Head of Service of the Head of Service of the Federation, our host, our two hosts for today, President of Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Ayuba Mwaba, and the President of the Trade Union Congress, Comrade Kadri Olale. Past presidents of the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, starting from the founding President of the NLC, Comrade Hassan Somanu, elder statesman. Comrade Excellency Adams Eric Oshomole, immediate past national chairman of the biggest party in Africa, the All Progressive Congress. We also have the immediate past president of the Trade Union Congress, Comrade Boboy Kaigama. The permanent secretary, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment, Dr. Ira Tafa Yerima. Ambassadors and heads of diplomatic mission in Nigeria who are here, especially those of Venezuela, Cuba, and Uganda. Presidents and general secretaries of the various affiliate unions of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. The hardworking and great workers in the Nigerian labor force belonging to all these unions who are here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I represent the President Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on this occasion. But before I read the President's speech and give you his message, I want to take just a little 1 minute of your time to talk to the workers as Minister of Labor and Employment. And in doing so, just to touch one or two areas which have been harped upon by the two presidents of the two labor federations in their speech today. Because as Minister of Labor, if I don't touch on them, it will look like a government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria do not social dialogue with our social partners, or we are oblivious or insensitive to the plight of the working class and people in the informal economy especially. So on the issue of social protection floor, government of Nigeria is doing everything, and as we identify with the workers of Nigeria and their leadership in implementing Convention 102 of the ILO and the Recommendation 202. We've done a lot, and all those things are encapsulated in the address presented by the Honorable Minister of State, and some that will also be said today by the President. We also, as a labor ministry, oppose casualization of workers in all its ramifications. We don't support yellow dog contracts, which is the forebearer to casualization. So we identify with you, and we continue to work with you to fight the cancerous injuries caused by this particular yellow work phenomenon. On the issue of the minimum wage, national minimum wage, we social dialogue with all the social partners in what we can call a tripartite plus arrangement, which culminated in government enacting the national minimum wage on April 18th, 2019, and the president, in signing the law, made it clear that that law takes effect from that day. That law is a national law. There is no pick and choose for anybody that falls within the ambit of that law. The governments are subnational in states, and the federal government are bound by that law because we have workers as prescribed in that law. So it's not a question of pick and choose. We moved the national minimum wage from 18,000 naira per month to 30,000 naira per month. It is an irreducible flaw and is even a social protection mechanism. Therefore, we expect states and people in the private sector to comply. Amendment or trying to expunge that law or trying to bring that law into the concurrent list of legislation will not work because it will go against the principles of the various conventions of that law which Nigeria has adopted and is the international global practice. So as Ministry of Labor, we identify with you and we will go all the way with you to make sure that the issue of national minimum wage is still retained in the country's exclusive legislative list of the Federation. President, the right to strike. There is right to withdrawal of services. Section 43 of the Nigerian Labor Dispute Act makes for that. It also grants the employers to some protection. That protection is in that law. It also is an extension of the ILO principles on right to strike. I will not go into all the gamut of it, but the labor leaders themselves who go to Geneva with us every year and who belong to the various committees of the ILO on work and employment, they know what the law says, and so at the appropriate time, we'll discuss it further again. The pension minimum wage is a constitutional issue, and Mr. President did not want or did not wait to be pushed for him to give approval on the recommendation of the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, which forwarded the request to Mr. President as the wage fixing organ of government based on the outfall of the distillate of the national minimum wage consequential adjustment application. The Nigerian Constitution in section 1733 says that pensions should be readjusted to move on a sliding scale with salary reviews or every 5 years, whichever comes first. Luckily, both were coming together, and Mr. President have done the needful for the Nigerian pensioners, and it takes effect from today, May 1, because all pensioners will get their pay from May and get arrears starting from 18th of April 2019. So pensioners, your basket will be very full when you collect all these arrears. So I think I want to make this clarification before I read the message of Mr. President to the Nigerian workers. Mr. President's message is given by me, and the workers can see that Mr. President has been very mindful of the Nigerian mix when we come to represent him here. In 2017, it was me, a small man. 2018, SGF, a tall man. 2019, I think the vice president, a small man. 2020, virtual. 2021, Ngige, a small man. So we are alternating well for the Nigerian workers to know that we can always blend. We can always social dialogue and get things right. Mr. President says to you today, distinguished Nigerian workers, this day affords me the opportunity to directly address you as a very important factor of production in this nation. On that premise, I bring you greetings and wish you a happy day celebration. Though there are majorly two federations of trade unions in Nigeria, the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, I can see you all in your various uniforms, distinct as to your respective trade unions. Today is a day of celebration for you and for all workers all over the globe. It is a celebration that has its origins and roots in historical events that gave birth to a contemporary breed of workers who now have a voice that can be heard and considered across the polity of nations. It is equally a day for celebration for your social partners, your employers, the government, and employers in the private sector. Because without labor, the other factors of production will be unable to sustain the enterprises. Furthermore, the voice accorded to labor is often positively expressed for the progress, development, and growth of socioeconomic institutions to the benefit of employers as well as government of the day in the world of work. This year's theme for May Day celebration is very relevant and reflects a practical and contemporary issue, the issues of our society, not just in Nigeria, but globally. These issues are an immediate fallout of the global pandemic caused by COVID-19, which has ravaged the world and destabilized labor markets. But I'm glad that even in the midst of the lockdowns in 2020, the Nigerian workers never jettisoned their sense of and need for solidarity. The May Day was still celebrated last year, though on a low key, and this showed the strength and spirit of the labor movement in Nigeria. Though the negative effects of COVID-19 pandemic are monumental, we would, however, hesitate to term it a socio-economic crisis, as that will connote a state of calamity and may be a turning point. It is clear that the nation is facing great challenges in terms of revenue inflow, as the source of funding was reliant mainly on the price of crude oil in the international market. We have, however, tried to cushion the effects of the reduced income by investing and applying the diversification of the economy as a legitimate way of keeping the macroeconomic indices and keeping our country afloat. In the world of work, due to appeals by the government to employers of labor, there had not been as much retrenchment or redundancy as it was initially anticipated due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and workers in turn have utilized the key instrument of social dialogue to unlock workplace cohesion and cooperation by reaching social pact with their employers on thorny issues of concern to the workers. I thank the social partners for their understanding and for lending a listening ear to the government at a most vulnerable time when the government battled with the health system during this pandemic in order to save lives through the containment of the spread of the disease. On the issue of decent jobs in our workplace remain a goal for this government. Irrespective of the hitches caused by the pandemic, in our efforts and journey to attain the United Nations 2030 Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, and the African Union 2063 Agenda, with its embodied 7 African aspirations, we Nigerians are committed to inclusive and sustainable development anchored by the Decent Work Agenda to initiate and maintain economic growth. In this regard, fair labor practices must be the norm in our world of work. I am told, and after consideration, I tend to agree with the saying in the field of industrial relations that an employer deserves the kind of worker or employee that he gets. A happy workforce makes for higher productivity, oiled by esprit de corps amongst workers. A happy workforce can be created by employers incorporating the Decent Work Agenda in job creation and retention in their workplace guiding policies. As we all know, decent work sums up the aspirations of people in their working lives. It involves opportunities for work that is productive and delivers a fair income, security in the workplace, and social protection for families. Better prospects for personal development and social integration, freedom for people to express their concerns, organize and participate in decisions that affect their lives, with equality of opportunity and treatment for all women and men. Decent job in our workplace, in a nutshell, therefore, reflects all the goodness in labor administration. It covers social protection floor, social protection on the different scales of incomes, social dialogue, gender parity and equality, workplace cooperation and cohesion. Recognizing that decent jobs are now universal objective and has greater relevance in any aspiration for the promotion of sustained and inclusive economic growth, full and productive employment, the government had appealed and continues to appeal to all employers of labor to jettison job reduction and is also ensuring poverty alleviation through various safety net programs to cushion the effects of COVID-19 pandemic. So, we therefore acknowledge that in securing decent jobs, we are inadvertently promoting social protection and people's welfare. We also know that social protection gives you peace of mind and hope for a better future. We also know that it ensures access to health care and income security for all and provides for you and your family when sick, when unemployed, injured, pregnant, or too old to work. It also provides support for your family if something happens to you in the course of work. In consideration of this fact, we intend to look at the relevant conventions of the ILO, as mentioned before, and also through the newly integrated National Labor Advisory Council and to extract and ratify what we can adapt to our national practice and environment, so that Convention 102 on social security will have been achieved in Nigeria. While we await the formalization of our social protection network and people's welfare, we have not and will not rest on our arms in combating the challenges of our time occasioned by this deadly enemy, COVID-19. We have therefore put in place some socio-economic policies to alleviate poverty, and our efforts include, but not limited, to the expansion of the conditional cash transfer for the vulnerable poor from the original 2.6 million households we had before the pandemic to 7.6 million households, which translates to about 32 million persons, up from 13 million persons before the pandemic. We have also a COVID-19 rapid response register for urban poor, which now has 4.8 million households, translating to 20 million persons, which includes the urban poor and the working class. President of NSC and TUC can attest that this has been done. All these are being done through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management. Through the Ministry of Trade and Investment, there is also the Entrepreneurial Support Program, and this includes even help to the vulnerable workers amongst the poor. We also have the Artisan Support Fund, the Payroll Support Fund for small-scale businesses in the private sector, business formalization, private sector, all aimed at encouraging micro, small, and medium enterprises for them to thrive. There is also the free registration for upcoming businesses by the Corporate Affairs Commission. Guaranteed offtake stimulus scheme for small, medium enterprises, SME, for producers of hygienic products and packaged food to encourage entrepreneurship and industries. The National Youth Investment Fund, NYIF, for young entrepreneurs is also in the basket with 75 billion naira for 3 years entrepreneurship fund, all aimed at support for the labor force. We are also expanding the program from 500,000 to 1 million persons. And this is irrespective also of the Central Bank of Nigeria support for agriculture and manufacturing. My great Nigerian workers, let's continue to work together for the good of our country, Nigeria. We may have our little differences in opinion, but I believe that living irreconcilable differences can eventually be reconciled for redemption of our country. We therefore need to eschew hatred, rancor, and move our country forward in truth and honesty. As we build back to ameliorate the injuries and havoc caused by COVID-19 pandemic, I pray that the spirit of social dialogue will continue to exist and grow among the tripartite stakeholders in the world of work, and that our gains will consequently be immense. Once more, my Nigerian workers, happy May Day celebration. Long live the Nigerian Labour Congress. Long live the Trade Union Congress. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for that very wonderful remarks.
Indeed, that gives us a clarity that the government is not oblivious of their responsibilities to the Nigerian worker. Please, let's put our hands together to appreciate this very wonderful remarks and commitment. Your Excellencies, comrades and friends, members of the National Assembly, members of the Federal Executive Council, fellow comrades, we want to once again say thank you very much for being here with us, for staying with us, for believing in us, and thank you for the trust, and thank you for the spirit of solidarity that is capable of propelling the relationship between employers and employee to a greater height toward building a great nation. At this very juncture, we will definitely move straight to the march past. And because we definitely need to maintain the protocol, and the march past will the march past will be union after union, not so clustered like it used to be before. But my very good friend, Nuhu, will give us more highlights.
Thank you, comrade. Well, comrades, because of the pandemic and our resolve to ensure that we observe the protocol 100%, we will call union by union. Because of our respect for senior citizens, we will start with NUP. Members of NUP should come out so that we can start the march past. And I would like at this juncture to invite the dignitaries to inspect the march past by Nigerian workers. The dignitaries would like to invite the dignitaries to inspect the march past by Nigerian workers. NUP, are you ready? We also want police band to be on standby. Just remain where you are seated. We'll call your union, you file in, so that we'll be fast and get out of this place. Of course, we are not also unmindful of our brothers that are fasting and the pandemic. We want to ensure that social distancing is adhered to strictly. So we would like to invite the president of the Nigerian workers to invite His Excellency to inspect the parade of the Nigerian workers. Comrade President, sir. NUP, Nigerian Union of Pensioners, senior citizens, are you ready? Senior citizens, are you ready? Please come forward. Just march forward.
Please, while the Nigerian pensioners are getting set, please, other unions will
Association of Nigerian Aviation Professionals, ANAP, ASUP, and ASURI should be on standby. Association of Nigerian Aviation Professionals, Association of Academic Staff Union of Polytechnic, Academic Staff Union of Research Institute, be on standby. Please proceed and queue behind the Nigerian Union of Pensioners. Police band, the dignitaries are already here to review the parade. I can see our comrade president is here already. Police band, are we ready? NUP are here already, Union of Pensioners. So the next union, Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff and Cattle Dealers of Nigeria, please just queue in behind Asu. After Nigerian Union of Pensioners, the next is Association of Nigerian Aviation Professionals, followed by Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, followed by ASURI, Academic Staff Union of Research Institutions. Let's go. Nigerian Union of Pensioners, please move forward. Nigerian Union of Pensioners, the senior citizens, ably led by the President and General Secretary, Comrade Actoswal. Comrade President, welcome to 2021 May Day celebration. Your labor shall not be in vain. You shall reap from the fruit of your labor. Senior citizens, our distinguished comrades, sir, you are welcome. Waxing stronger, former General Secretary, NUP.
And next to them, Your Excellencies, is the Contributory Pensioners Union of Nigeria. Indeed, pensioners are very, very special, and we thank God that the federal government and the state governments are taking drastic actions toward adding value to the growth and existence of the pensioners. Thank you very much. Next, the Association of Nigerian Aviation Professionals, Fan Naida, Abuja branch, Association of Nigerian Aviation Professionals, Fly Us Well.
Comrades, please come forward. ASURI, ASUP, come
the Federal
forward.
Airport Authority of Nigeria, Fan Chapter of the Airport Transport Service Union Staff Association of Nigeria.
The gap is too much. Please, ASURI, cover up the gap. UPTA, Amalgamated Union of Public Corporations, Civil Service, Technical and Recreational Services, please be on standby. COESU, Colleges of Education, Academic Staff Union of Nigeria, be on standby. Just follow the queue. ISAN, Iron and Steel Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, follow the queue. ASIBIFI, Association of Senior of Banks, Insurance, Financial Institution Employees, please follow. Just follow the suit.
If you also come to my place, you are blocking me. Come over here.
Please, Academic Staff Union of ASURI, you are lacking behind. It's as if you don't have morale. Please, give your morale and move forward because of the sun. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
The Academic Staff Union of Research Institutions, ASURI, are here in their numbers, led by their national president. If you are just joining us, this is the march past to mark the 2021 and 21 edition of the Nigerian Workers' Celebration. Association of Senior
Staff of Bank, Insurance and Financial Institution, ably Komedoyiko Olakwe, President, please move forward.
Association of Senior Staff of Banks, Insurance and Financial Institutions, Indeed, they are affiliates of...
Please cover up. Don't wait there. Just come.
Don't wait,
The
please
next
keep
union,
moving.
please come. ASU.
Keep moving.
Please come.
Unions, please keep moving.
ASU and amalgamated UPTA, please move forward. Ably led by their president, Comrade Benjamin, and the acting general secretary, Comrade Sikiru. Comrade Sikiru, please cover up the gap quickly. The next union should please ensure to cover up. Hurry up.
Amalgamated Union of Public Operations, Civil Service, Technical and Recreational Services Employees, UPTA.
Comrade Sikiru and Comrade Benjamin, please march faster.
Celebrating the beauty of our dignity in labor toward building a very, very great nation. Nigeria is our home, and Nigeria can never exist without the strength of the Nigerian worker. The Nigerian worker plays a pivotal role or a determinant factor in the growth of the nation. Today we are out in our numbers to celebrate the beauty of solidarity and comradeship. Once again, you are welcome to the 2021 edition of the media celebration, holding here live in the beautiful city of Nigeria.
Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff and Cattle Dealers of Nigeria, ably led by their president, Comrade Mohammed Tahir, but Comrade Mohammed is in the podium.
The National Union of Banks, Insurance, Financial Institutions Employees.
Great Nubife, ably led by their General Secretary, Comrade Sheikh, and the President.
The Senior Staff Association of Statutory Corporations and Government-Owned Companies, SASCO, are here in their numbers to celebrate the beauty of the workers' celebration.
SASCO is led by Comrade Mohammed Attahiru, the President, and also the Treasurer of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. Non-academic staff union of education and associated institution, NASU. Great NASU. NASU is led by their President and General Secretary, Comrade Peters.
And gentlemen,
FCT Transport, of course, an ambit of UPTA. We celebrate 2021 May Day together with you. Let's step it up. I can see the textile workers union, ably led by their president, Adaji, and the general secretary. Comrade Adaji is leading the textile workers union. Textile Workers Union, ably led by the President, Comrade Adaji, and the General Secretary.
and also we have the Professional E-Hailing Drivers and Private Owners Association, PEPA, an affiliate of the Trade Union Congress as well. Great PEPA.
Comrades, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, these are Nigerian workers that toil to create all the byproducts of petroleum in Nigeria. Of course, there is no other union than Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers Union, NUPEC, led by its president, Comrade Williams, and the General Secretary,
Come here now if you want to take it down.
Afolabi Afo, of Pengasin, greatest Pengasin, greatest NUPEC, Isoleto, NUPEC.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, the Nigerian Union of
Service Recreational Secretariat, Nusra. Incidentally, comrades, in the history of the Nigerian labor movement, this is the first time a woman is leading the union. Or the third time a woman is leading the union.
As the national president.
And it's no other person than Comrade Roslyn Anara, the president of the only female president in Nigeria of Nusra. Comrade Anara, congratulations. Greatest Nigerian workers. Of course, Your Excellencies, it is Nigerian workers that are the first line charge in confronting coronavirus pandemic. You are presented with Nigerian midwives, busy sanitizing the place to avoid any infection, to avoid any seal of coronavirus. And it's ably led by their president. Even though he's wearing his protective clothing, I can vividly identify him. Comrade President.
It is quite an excitement that the National Association of the Nurses and Midwives, with a very, very wonderful demonstration,
the nurses and midwives are led by their president, Comrade Nachi Michael. Not a target, advanced movement, not a target. Nigerian Union of Allied NUAP, step forward, step forward, step forward. The Nigerian Union of Allied Professionals NUAP, ably led by their president, doctor, and his general secretary.
thank you very much. The National Association of Academic Technologists, NAT. The National Association of Academic Technologists, NAT, celebrating the 2021 May Day celebration. Indeed, we are very, very grateful for this very solidarity. Next on the queue, distinguished, is the National Union of Air Transport Employees, NUATE. Is here. They are here with their national president.
The president of NUATE, Comrade Ben Nabwe, is leading the NUATE workers. Your Excellencies, you agree with us that Nigerian workers toil to create the wealth. Even in air, when you are airborne, you see these workers ensuring that you are safely arrived wherever you are going. Thank you very much.
The Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria.
Well, comrade, when you talk about the bureaucrats that toil to create the policy, they are the ones moving now. And the bureaucrats are led by their acting president, Comrade Tom. The acting president of Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria are being led by Comrade Tom. Comrade Tom, thank you very much. And we wish you a happy May Day celebration. Of course, even in the State House, Your Excellencies, we have Association of Senior Civil Staff of Nigeria that deals with your file from table to table and ensure that policies are implemented without fear or favor. Of course, we still have them in the Biosafety Management Agency unit. This is still an extension of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria. Your Excellency, in the mining sector, you have the Nigerian Mining Cadastral Office. The Association of Senior Civil Servants are also there, busy mining the zones and cadastral of the FCT and Nigeria at large. We also have them, Your Excellency, at the Code of Conduct Tribunal unit, so that when politicians err, they will be there to bring them to order. We also have Association of Senior Civil Servants at NICOM. NICOM is the Insurance Regulatory Commission. Of course, it was chaired by Mr. Fola Daniels and their current leadership. NICOM are also an affiliate of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria. Still talking about Association of Senior Civil Servants, Your Excellencies, comrades, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Association of Senior Civil Servants are also in the Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education, NIMEC. They are there resilience to ensure that they eradicate illiteracy. Your Excellencies, Association of Senior Civil Servants seems to be everywhere. Please, can you step up? Step up, NEPSI, Nigerian Export Promotion Council. Please, step forward. The gap is too wide. Oga Commander, move, please. The gap is too wide. Thank you very much. The Nigerian Association of Senior Civil Servants, they are also at the National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism. In the hotel sector, Your Excellency, they are there. Let's hurry up. They are also at the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency. Please, let's hurry up. The Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria are led by their acting president, Comrade Tom. Association of Senior Civil Servants, please step up. Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, the gap is too wide. If you leave this gap, I'm not sure we can take care of humanitarian affairs. Cover up, please. Cover up. They are also in the Public Service Institute, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Association of Senior Civil Servants are also at the civil service. They are also at Nesria. They are also at Nesria.
And next to them, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, agriculture and allied employees. The Nigerian agriculture and allied employees,
led by their principal officers, Comrade Zuberu, and the President of the Union.
It's like this yam, and then the pineapple will be dropped, then the march past will pass.
You can also see watermelon in the spirit of Ramadan.
And next, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Nigerian Union of Railway Workers. Nigerian Union of Railway Workers, close the gap.
Comrade Ajiji is leading the Nigerian Union of Railway Workers. And the General Secretary, Comrade Essa. Nigerian Civil Service Union 1912, Comrade Amechi, L.A. Lawrence Amechi. Cover up, Commander FCT, Comrade Amechi. The gap is too wide. Cover up, Comrade Amechi Lawrence, aka Commander FCT.
The Nigerian Civil Service
You can see them gorgeously dressed. Comrade Amechi.
The commander of the Nigerian Civil Service, Comrade Lawrence Amechi. They are well gauged. Those who actually create the strength of the wealth of this country, the civil service. Other unions, please, key in. Let's key in. Today is yet another wonderful day in the history of the Nigerian worker. That the Nigerian worker has no any grievous intention to bring the country or the objective to disrepute. All our strength value to the strength of nation building and ensure to maintain the level of our economic and political strength. The Nigerian Civil Union, thank you very much.
And comrades, distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, Nigerian Union of Civil Service is 1912 union, one of the oldest, if not the oldest.
The Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, the Federal Inland Revenue Services. We will definitely pay our tax, but at least by saying this,
build our roads, we pay our tax, we build our roads, build good schools.
we assure you that we are going to pay our tax, But make sure the tax is judiciously being put into use.
Not allow our taxes to be siphoned.
All of us, we have place to pay our tax, but you should be very committed toward judiciously using the tax. Thank you.
Interestingly, Your Excellencies, comrades, ladies and gentlemen, it is only the Nigerian workers that pay correct tax because our taxes are deducted at source.
Yeah.
I know politicians don't pay tax at source. So you should design a kind of formula to ensure that taxes are deducted at source.
The Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria,
JUSUN is ably led by the General Secretary and the acting President. Comrade, we are with you in the struggle. We are with you in your struggle. Nigerian workers are with JUSUN. Congratulations and happy May Day.
we have the National Union of Printing and Publishing. That's what, sorry.
NUPRO is being led by its President and General Secretary. NUPRO is the Printing, Publishing and Paper Product Workers. Happy May Day.
The National Union
Up National Progress, chop alone, tire roll, chop alone, go away. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you have the Nigerian Union of Road Transport Workers. They are the drivers that toil to ensure that Nigerian people move from one city to the other and even within the state in a very safety and conducive manner. We wish you happy May Day, Nigerian workers. Up National Progress, tire roll, chop alone. Your Excellencies, they are saying if you chop alone, you will go away. But if the tire roll, the driver will chop. Congratulations and happy birthday. Up National, everything, chop alone.
Now we have the Nigerian Union of Food, Beverages and Tobacco Employees. The National Union of Food, Beverages and Tobacco Employees.
They are called NUFTI. It's being led by its President and General Secretary. Comrades, we wish you a happy celebration, happy May Day. Greatest NUFTI. Thank you very much, comrade.
Well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are just about to wrap the program immediately after the mad fast. I will once again say thank you very much for believing in us. Thank you for your solidarity. And we'll stand firm toward making ourselves very, very close to it.
FOCTOP is an affiliate of the Trade Union Congress. It's being led by their president, who also doubles as the president of TUC, Comrade Kadri Olale. FOCTOP, happy May Day celebration. Great FOCTOP. Greatest FOCTOP. Of the greatest FOCTOP. Thank you very much, Comrade.
The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU. Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities.
SANU is being led by its president. Great SANU. Greatest of the greatest SANU. Thank you very much and happy May Day. SAEC, move forward. Please come forward, SAEC. SAEC is being led by its president, Comrade Dr. Okonkwo. Please move forward. The gap is too much. If you leave this kind of gap, the discos will be dancing and the GEMCOs will not provide meters and electricity 24 hours. So cover the gap so that we don't have friction. We want steady electricity. We want prepaid meters. SAEC, kindly ensure. Greatest SAEC.
Construction and Civil Engineering Senior Staff Association. Please, let's put our hands together for them, ladies and gentlemen. Construction and Civil Engineering Senior Staff Association. Celebrating the beauty of our dignity.
CESA is led by its General Secretary. Great CESA. Great National Union of Mine Workers, NUN. Mine Workers is being led by Comrade Suleiman and the President. Comrade Suleiman, the General Secretary and the President of Loom are leading the Nigerian mine workers. Greatest mine workers. Greatest mine workers. Great. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is interesting to inform you that an African country is being colonized by another country. And you will be interested to note that we have the last colony in Africa. It's no other colony than the Western Arab Democratic Republic, who have been colonized by another African country, Morocco. And in the spirit of comradeship, Professor Dikko Fashina is leading the Nigerian movement of solidarity with the Sahrawi workers, who will not relent until referendum is being carried out for people to decide which country they want to belong. Congratulations, Western Sahara. Automobile Design and Development Council, please step up for Happy May Day. Happy May Day. Nolge, Comrade Ambali, the newest president of Nolge, please step forward. Let's see if you can fill in the gap. Let's see if you can fill in the gap, Comrade Ambali. Having worked in the State Council and having gone through the ranks, I have no doubt on my mind that you have all it takes to lead the local government employee. But don't forget, we must ensure the autonomy of local government, because that is the starting point of development. That is the starting point where Nigerian workers will have value. Comrade Ambali, President, the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, leading. Let's step up, Nolge, let's step up. Comrade Ambali, take a bow and proceed. Thank you very much. Comrades, I told you earlier that we have two unions in the oil sector. Comrade Osifo, I know you can do better. He's been led by his president. Please cover up the gap so that there is no oil spillage. This space is sufficient to create oil spillage. We don't want oil spillage. We want our refineries to work. We want all the byproducts of petroleum products to be found locally in Nigeria. If you leave this gap, anything can happen. So Comrade Osifo is the president of Pengason. Pengason is the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. Of course, he is being ably superintended by some two beautiful women and the General Secretary of the association. Comrade Osifo, happy birthday. I see the General Secretary waving their flag in style, celebrating the May Day. We wish you happy May Day. Great Pengason! Great Pengason! Great Nigeria! Great Nigeria! Thank you very much.
National Association of Chemical. The National Union of Chemical, Footwears, and non-metallic product employees.
The flambe, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, is led by his president, Comrade Goke, and the General Secretary, Comrade Dada, Comrade Goke, the flambe members, happy May Day celebration. Please hurry up, maritime, hurry up, so that there is no ship capsizing. If you leave the space like this, a ship can capsize, so cover up the space.
And you know the water is getting drier. The Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, please move faster and close the gap.
Comrade Adeyeju, I know you can fill in the gap of Comrade Irabo and your predecessor. This gap is too wide, a ship can capsize, and we don't want oil spilling. Comrade Adeyeju, President, Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, greatest maritime workers, of the greatest maritime workers of Nigeria. Happy May Day celebration. Let's hurry up. This gap is too much. A ship capsize, and we don't want that. Please cover up.
Keep moving,
Let's go, comrade. Your president has come. Keep moving.
Everything has been read.
Maritime workers, please step up. Step up, please.
The National Union of Civil Engineering, Construction, Furniture and Woodwork. The National Union of Civil Engineering, Construction, Furniture and Woodworkers. Thank you very much.
Distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Musifewu is the Construction Union of Civil Engineering, National Union of Civil Engineering, I beg your pardon, Construction, Furniture and Woodworkers, Musifewu. Interestingly, Your Excellency, this great union is led by its President, General Amechi Asugunu, and of course, Comrade Walama, the General Secretary of the great union. Great construction. Greatest construction of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest construction. Your Excellencies, these are Nigerian workers. The city, they are still building. They build the Aso Rock, they build the Federal Secretariat, they build all the bridges, they build all the toilets, they build National Assembly, they build all the judiciary. They are Nigerian workers building Abuja, and they are still building, Your Excellencies. The workers that are toiling build Abuja city. Thank you very much. Great construction. Greatest construction. Greatest of the greatest of the greatest construction. Don't be scared by their number. They are the ones toiling to build Abuja city. They are still building. Very soon we will follow on to build the state. Courtesy Nigerian workers. Greatest construction workers. Greatest construction workers.
You have said it all. Yeah, cannot be oversized.
Cover up the next union. Cover up so we don't bring another one. Cover up. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, highlighting is a very great and significant union. Significant in the sense that the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria produced the current president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Ayuba Waba MNI, and a global president. So you can see it's an union that we cannot toil with. Interestingly, Your Excellencies, I wish to announce that the union is in the sober reflection, which translates to why you are seeing them dressed like this. They are just recovering from the demise of their General Secretary, a great man, a gentleman of high repute, Comrade Silas, whom we lost to a ghastly motor accident, Your Excellencies. We pray that the Almighty God will receive them in paradise. It is against that spirit that they are in low key. Of course, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Medical and Health Workers Union is led by their president, Comrade Josiah Beblemo.
Hello. If you don't pass, don't pass.
These are health workers that are confronted, they are in the front line, confronted with coronavirus and other viruses. But of course, we are happy to announce that they are still waxing stronger. They are still waxing stronger even despite daunting challenges. Like I told you, Your Excellency, this great union produced Comrade Ayuba Waba. We thank you for producing the global president.
Hello. I tell them to do all of them. Don't say that you put that gun. Even though I myself, hey! Let's go now.
All right, thank you very much.
Hello.
Comrade, distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, these are Nigerian workers in the front line of combating COVID-19. They are also sensitizing the need for people to be vaccinated against COVID-19. They are equally informing the Nigerian workers that COVID-19 is very good and that people are encouraged to take the vaccine. And in furtherance to that, they are demonstrating the administration of the vaccine right here. And Comrade, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to convey our condolences over the demise of your General Secretary. It's indeed a great loss to Nigerian workers. We thank you very much and we pray for the repose of Comrade Silas and his wife and the children. Thank you very much, Medical and Health Workers Union. Let's advance. Let's move, let's move, let's move, let's move. Thank you very much. Greatest medical and health workers. Greatest medical and health workers. It is being led by its principal officers. I can see the General Secretary, the President, and the Acting General Secretary. Thank you very much and accept our condolence. Your pain is our pain, and our gain, your gain is also our gain. We are with you in mourning. We pray that God will repose the spirit of Comrade Silas, the wife, and the children. Please accept the condolences of the entire Nigerian workers. Thank you very much. Please, let's step it up. Your Excellency, these are health workers, they are already cautious, and that's why you see them with umbrella shielding themselves from the sun.
Thank you very much. We have the Nigerian hotels and personal. The National Union of Hotels and Personal Services. Let's be fast a bit. Let's close the gap.
Loopsy, cover up, Comrade President. Loopsy, cover up. Loopte, the gap between you and Loopsy is too wide. Somebody's letter can get missing. Please cover up the gap.
Thank you very much. The National Union of Postal and Employers, the National Union of Postal and Telecommunications Employees, you're welcome. We appreciate your solidarity now and indeed with the men of our ministry. Thank you very much. Thank you for your presence for the video.
Comrade, yes, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, SEU is the Steel and Engineering Workers Union of Nigeria. Of course, it's been led by a veteran comrade, Comrade Adili. Comrade Adili, happy New Year.
Next to them, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is the Radio, Television, Theatre and Art Workers Union of Nigeria, RATAO, the very, very great union among the affiliates of NLC that deals with the information, that deals with entertainment, that deals with education, being ably led by their national president, Comrade Kabir Sani, and the general secretary, Comrade Akbaoso, and other principal officers thereafter. Indeed, we are very, very proud of you. Thank you very much for being part of us. I will remain very, very close in disseminating valid information to the growth of the nation. RATAO, the Radio, Television, Theatre and Art Workers Union of Nigeria, which once upon a time I served as a two-term national PRO of the union.
Thank you, Piero. Yes, you are slowing down. NUT, please step up. Comrade, distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, the Nigerian Union of Teachers is being led by Comrade Nasir, the president, who is also the deputy president of the Nigerian Labour Congress. Please step it up. Step it up, Nigerian Union of Teachers, NUT. Louis, please close up the gap. Thank you very much. Nigerian Union of Teachers. If If you know your name, thank your teacher. If you know your name, if you know how to write your name, thank your teacher. Pay minimum wage to primary school teachers. Stop enslaving teachers. Education is a right, not a privilege, Your Excellency. Pay minimum wage to all Nigerian workers. Pay minimum wage to all Nigerian workers. Say no to casualization. Let's go, let's go, let's go, so that we can read the inscription. Education, Excellency, is a right and not a privilege. Education is human right. No to casualization. Pay minimum wage to all Nigerian workers. Pay living wage to all Nigerian workers, including police, SSS, and Louis, Comrade, cover up. If you don't cover up, there will be high tension. And high tension creates scarcity of meter. We want free prepaid meters, and we have a vibrant trade unions in that sector that will ensure that Nigerian workers get value for money. We get electricity 24/7. Comrade, Deputy General Secretary Louis, and Deputy President Nigerian Labour Congress. Of course, Comrade is flagged by the President of the Union, Engineer, Dr. Professor Mr. Comrade Martins.
The Nigerian Union of Electricity Employees, solidarity forever indeed. While we appreciate your solidarity, we also have for a solidarity in maintaining the flow of electricity in not only the FCT but in other states across.
Patience Alaba, your attention is required immediately. Thank you. The National Secretariat of the Nigerian Labour Congress are the ones following. I am also aware that the National Secretariat of the TPC is following back. Patience Alaba, Patience Alaba. Patience Alaba. Comrade Anka, Comrade Patience Alaba. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is the engine room of the Nigerian Labour Congress. It's been led by Acting General Secretary Comrade Bello. These are the workers that toil to create all of the strategies at the national headquarters of the Nigerian Labour Congress. We thank you very much, Nigerian workers. This brings us to the end of the March past. Ladies and gentlemen, we now take the vote of thanks by the chairperson of the 2021 May Day Organizing Committee, Comrade Najib Yassin. Comrade Chair.
Your Excellencies, we appreciate the senators, President Muhammad Buhari, every represented by our Home Minister, and the State Minister of Labour, the SGF representative, all our invited guests, Labour leaders, our presidents, the NSC and TUC, and all other Labour leaders for attending the 2021 meeting. We thank Almighty Allah for making the program possible. As we are ending the program now, we wish each and every one of us safe
journey back to our respective homes. Thank you, and may Almighty Allah bless you all.
National Anthem, Police Band. National Anthem. Thank you very much, Police Band. We thank you, our dignitaries, for attending this very important occasion. We thank you, and we thank you.